Hi everyone, Miss Pratt here, and today we are going to work on finishing up the face. So we have to work on our nose and our ears, and that's all we have left for parts of our face. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and fit on one piece of paper our nose and our ear, okay? So if you look at your nose, a lot of what you see is just shading, okay? You can't really see the outline unless you're looking at it from the side, okay? So we're going to do it looking from the front. So what we need is we're just going to do some light outlines to give us some guidelines, okay? I'm going to start down here at the bottom, and we're going to do the curve for the outside of our nostrils, okay? Almost like parentheses. Alright, so we've got those for right now. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add just a little line that curves up on each side, and then I'll do the line that would be around our eyes, okay? So it's kind of like you're drawing an imaginary line that connects here. This is the curve next to your eye. Same thing on this side. Curve that goes to your eye. And a lot of what you see on your nose is your shading, so your dark spots, and your light spots. So most people have a light spot right on the tip of their nose, which is about right here. They have dark spots underneath their nose. There's normally a shadow right in here. Okay, and then normally there's a shadow of where your nostrils are. Okay, so normally your nose is kind of like this. It curves up. Got the little part that sticks down in the middle, and it curves back. So we need two oval shapes right here, and that's going to be your actual nostril. Same thing over here. So what we're going to work on now is we're going to work on adding our shading. So like I said, we have shadows around the outside of our nostril. So what we're going to do is we're going to gradually lighten this up. Just like that. All right, we're going to do that on both sides. And I don't know if you can hear it, but I have my music playing like I normally do because I like to have something to listen to while I work. Alright, I've got my shadows kind of drawn out. No, they're not finished yet. Now I'm going to add a little bit of shading right here. I'm going to add my shading around my eyes, where my eyes would be at. Alright, now normally you also have a little bit of shading, not as dark as here, but it is normally shaded, especially if you have bangs. It's shaded right between your eyes, which I do have bangs. So I'm going to add a little bit of light shading here. I'm going to use my finger and just smudge that some. Okay. Alright, now I'm going to continue that shading down here around my nose. Being careful not to go near that light spot that I circled. Now I'm going to work on darkening up below my nose. Now, where my nostril is, those are going to be my darkest spots. Okay, everything else is going to be lighter than that, but it's still going to be shaded. I'm smudging it with my finger. Alright. Go back and erase a little bit so I can shade it a little bit more. And I'm going to be trying to lighten it up. And then smudge it again. Okay, I'm going to darken it up around the bottom again. Alright, so there's my nose right now. I'm going to go ahead and add another layer around the edges. I'm going to have a little bit more shading around the light spot before I erase it. Okay, now you can check your nose and see where else there's dark spots. There's probably dark spots above your nostril. So I'm going to go ahead and erase where I circled for the light spot. And I'm going to smudge where I added those dark spots, okay? Just to give it a little bit of blending. Alright, now I'm going to go back up and work in this shaded area that I added. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and add my ear. So our ear is almost directly across from our eyes, which would be lined up here. And then normally it ends right around where our mouth is, so a little bit lower than our nose. So what we're going to do is we're going to line it up with our nose, and we're going to do a curved line like that. Okay, the same thing with our ear as with our nose. A lot of it is just shading. So most people have your curve comes down here that we're going to shade in. You have the piece that sticks out like this. I'm not sure what that's called. And then you have the hole around it. Okay, so what we're going to work on right now is going ahead and coloring that or shading that in, okay? You will have to forgive me on this. I'm trying to look in my mirror and draw it at the same time and do a good job drawing it. Alright, so the darkest spot is right in our ear, which would be right here where I'm drawing. So that's going to be our blackest spot. And then it's going to fade out. Alright, and if you're like me, you might have an earring down here. And you may have more holes in your ears. I do. Just don't have earrings in right now. Alright, you may have some freckles on your ears that you need to add. Alright, and your ears are kind of tricky because they're honestly translucent, which is funny to think about. That means that you can see light behind them. Okay. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and take my finger, smudge it to make that shading a little more gradual. There's what my ear looks like right now. I'm going to add some shading down at the bottom, because normally it's a little bit darker the way the light is hitting. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and stop there with my ear. I could always go back and add some more highlights and dark spots on it. Okay, we know that our eye would be right about here. Okay, somewhere in there. Okay, so you could always go back and add your eye, but there's what our nose and ear looks like right now. I hope you enjoyed this, and hopefully I'll see you for our next videos. Alright, bye!